Leave behind everything you think you know about wealth, progress, and modernity. During an era when Western Europe was insular, localized, and economically shallow, one city was doing the exact opposite, at a massive scale, with deliberate planning and stunning success. This city didn't become rich by accident, it was engineered for wealth. Historians call this the Islamic Golden Age, but that label often hides the actual machinery behind it. This explosion of prosperity wasn't fueled by a vague golden era, but by a very specific system established by the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. Welcome to Pyramid Economics. We are diving into the deep waters where money and power collide. The year was 762. Caliph al-Mansur decided to build a new capital. He didn't just inherit an old imperial center, he drew the city from scratch. Baghdad wasn't placed randomly, it was erected on the banks of the Tigris River, at the absolute crossroads of the world's most vital trade routes, Persia, India, and China to the east, the Indian Ocean trade network to the south, Byzantium and the Mediterranean to the west, and Central Asian routes to the north. Baghdad was designed as a hub in the middle of this global traffic. But geography alone doesn't create wealth. Baghdad's difference was that it was built as an infrastructure designed to pull that flow entirely inward rather than resist it. Baghdad's true hallmark was trust. The Abbasids didn't just rule territory, they managed systems. Tax collection, the legal framework, and commercial regulations were surprisingly predictable for that era. A merchant bringing silk from China or gold from Africa knew exactly what to expect. While the European economy was fragmented and local, Baghdad operated globally. If one route was blocked, another was activated. Baghdad wasn't just trading, it was coordinating trade. Carrying tons of gold through deserts or across oceans was dangerous and clunky. The Abbasids revolutionized this with credit systems. A merchant could deposit money in one city and withdraw it in another. By using early versions of bills of exchange or checks, they moved value without moving physical metal. This allowed capital to circulate faster, further, and more securely than ever before. Financial historians often mistake these as European inventions, but Baghdad solved this centuries earlier. This is the most critical point. Knowledge was viewed not just as an intellectual curiosity, but as an economic investment. The Abbasids allocated massive funds to translate Greek, Persian, and Indian works of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine into Arabic. Why? Better mathematics meant superior accounting and engineering, better astronomy meant more accurate navigation and trade timing, better medicine meant a healthier, more productive population. The House of Wisdom, Beit al-Hikmah, wasn't just a library, it was the R&D center of its time. Scholars were paid salaries because knowledge increased output, and output multiplied wealth. No system lasts forever. Baghdad's decline didn't happen overnight or for mysterious reasons, it was a structural failure. The empire grew too large, and coordination snapped, regional governors declared independence, and tax revenues began flowing into local pockets instead of Baghdad. The story of Baghdad teaches us this. Wealth doesn't come solely from conquest or cultural superiority. Wealth comes from the system, wealth follows connectivity, stability follows institutions, prosperity follows trust. Today's global trade hubs, financial centers, and innovation valleys still operate on these same principles. Baghdad proved that prosperity isn't a coincidence, it can be designed. But it also left a warning: when governance fails, when complexity becomes unmanageable, and when short-term interests overtake long-term investments, even the wealthiest city in the world becomes vulnerable. History didn't forget Baghdad because it failed, later narratives forgot it because they narrowed their focus. But when you widen the lens, the lesson is clear: connectivity is wealth, disconnection is collapse, trust eroded, and the enforcement of contracts became difficult. When the Mongols arrived in 1258 to destroy the city, they were merely shattering a structure that had already lost its ability to protect itself and had weakened from within. The moment coordination stopped, that massive wealth evaporated.